Hey guys, what's going on? Kyle Krieger here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, as you probably saw in the title, that I'm going to be making a video about a few things that changed my life during quarantine. And while I was doing these things, while I was sort of like staying at home and in lockdown, I learned a few things about myself that I feel like I'm going to carry on through the rest of my life whenever life, I guess, gets back to normal, whenever, gosh, that may be. And those things I'm going to share with you today in hopes that maybe it can give you a little bit more peace, or save you some money, or yeah, just bring some joy to your day. Okay, so the first thing I started to do in quarantine was, I feel like the first few days, it kind of felt like a vacation, right? And I was thinking like, oh, you know, this isn't gonna be too long. This is just gonna be like a few weeks and like we'll be fine. And I thought that's kind of how we would be, where like most countries now are, you know, not really wearing masks and they're doing much better. They don't have 1,000 deaths a day like we do. And I just thought it would be okay. However, I was very wrong. You know, a couple weeks turned into, now it's been like 6 months. One thing that I did in the beginning was I slept in and like, you know, it kind of felt relaxed. And then after a couple weeks, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work. So one thing I started to do, which really changed my whole entire day, was get up early and like have a designated time when I get up every day and stick to that. Between like 7:30 and 8, I would set like a few alarms and I would make sure that I was up by 8 a.m. My day feels full and I feel like I can fit a lot of things in. It's really nice to get up in the morning because the city is still quiet and me and Angus can go on walks and like it's not too intense and no one's out there. Another thing is I get to get up and have my coffee in the morning and like read the news, listen to the daily podcast, which is a podcast that I've listened to pretty much every day since the quarantine started. It's a New York Times podcast. My day is usually full of like, whether it be classes for film school and workouts, whether I'm doing a workout at home or an outside workout somewhere. It's also a really nice time for me to be able to like binge a lot of TV shows. It like opens up my day a lot so that I have like, you know, can be like studying for film school and learning what's on TV. So yeah, getting up at a certain time every day has been great. So one thing I did during quarantine was save money in a very unexpected way. I drink a lot of coffee, which I feel like a lot of people do. I get that, and especially gay men, you know, we love our iced coffee or cold brew. I had been spending like $6 a day on a cold brew in Los Angeles, which I know is ridiculous. That's a good chunk of money. It comes down to like with tip and stuff, it's like $50 a week, right? So that's $200 a month on coffee. And that to me feels like too much. So in quarantine, I started making my own coffee. I love it. And now I do it every day and it's so much better and I feel like it's saving me so much money. What I love about making coffee at home is I can make it as strong as I want. I feel like it's always available in case I need a little pick-me-up in the middle of the day. And I've been doing it through this company called Trade Coffee. Basically how it works, these are the two coffees that were sent to me. It's really wonderful because I didn't really necessarily know what sort of coffee that I liked, even though I drink it all the time. I just sort of loved cold brew. So one thing that I really like about Trade is I take a quiz on the website, right? So you go online, you take a quiz on the website, and they kind of help you break down what is your favorite type of coffee, what you use it for, how you drink it, what you like in it, and all of those things. And then they mail you coffee to your door. It just shows up in my door. It's perfectly curated to what I like in my coffee. Because we're working together in this video, they're giving everybody who clicks the link in the description box below 30% off of their first batch. So if you'd like to try it too, and you'd like to save a lot of money by having your coffee just shipped to your house, then try this Trade Coffee. It's really great. The ones I got were Doma, which is good. The one I've been using, as you can see, it's open. It's the one I've been using the most. And then as soon as this is done, then I'm gonna try this one, which I'm excited about, Joe Coffee. There's actually a bunch of Joe Coffees in New York, which I used to drink, which I already know it's very good. And then you get to rate what coffees and how they work for you. And then they can either repeat the order or send a new kind, depending on how you rate the ones that you got. So you just really continue to curate your taste in coffee, which I thought is really great, especially for me. One thing that really changed my outlook on my day and my life actually was meditating. And I know that that sounds kind of silly, but it really changed everything for me, and the way that I operate in the world, the way that I react to people, the amount of time and love that I give myself. It's been really a very lovely experience. And you know, as most of you know, I'm sober. I've been sober 13 years, and I do it through a 12-step program. And in the 12 steps, there is a step on prayer and meditation. However, I mean, not to like a God. I mean, you can like, it doesn't have to be like a religious God, but anyway, the point is, there's a meditation step, and I've always been very imperfect at meditating. And so I downloaded this app called Headspace. I'm sure there's tons of apps that you could download that are meditation apps, or you could listen to podcasts or Spotify or whatever. I don't always practice perfectly throughout the day at the same time. I like to practice in the morning. However, at night, if I can't sleep because of anxiety or stress, because of everything that's been going on, like I'll find out, like during the day, I'll just like, my jaw will just be clenched. You know, like I'm just so stressed out of election year and the coronavirus, and right now the air quality in LA and the fires in Northern California and Oregon and trans people being murdered. You know, it's like been stressful year. Meditating has really allowed me to get some peace in my day. And usually by the end of the meditation, I'm fast asleep. So the night one I really like. The morning one is really great because it just starts off my day in a very positive light. You know, there's no right or wrong way to do it. The only wrong way to do it is, I guess, to not do it. Another thing that I did, which maybe some of you might notice if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, my @ is Kyle Krieger, but I only have Instagram. Because I work on Instagram a lot with, part of my income and part of my daily life and work is posting to social media. However, Twitter, I found it was a really great app for a long time for me, because I felt like it did a lot of good things for me, and it connected me with a lot of people and a lot of voices, and saw lots of points of view. However, deactivating my Twitter during quarantine was probably one of the best things that I've ever done. Twitter has been one of those platforms where it was good until it wasn't good. You know, it was good, and then it was good with problems, and then it was just problems. The problems that came up for me were, I felt angry all the time, bitter and mad and angry and triggered, and I wanted to like hurt people. Not actually hurt them, but I wanted to say things that would hurt them. And I was like, God, like, is this who I am? Like, I'm not gonna change these people's minds. No matter what I say, no matter what facts I give people, it just made me very angry. So I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like I'm just gonna step away and take a Twitter break, and I ended up just deleting it off my phone altogether. I also ended up deleting TikTok, and then all these other apps on my phone that just would take up a lot of time, wasting my days away that I got up really early for to enjoy the whole day. My screen time sometimes was like 7 hours a day. I mean, 7 hours? Like, that is insane. Filled my life with so many things. At the time that I spent online arguing with people that I'll never meet. I recently watched The Social Dilemma, which is a Netflix documentary, which is terrifying. I'm not sure if like that was gonna convince you to like delete your apps, and I don't necessarily want you to delete them. That was the only way that worked for me, that disconnected me from the anger and fear and chaos that I was feeling in my life. I don't really need to know every single thing that is gonna drive me insane. You know, I don't need to know every little thing that the Republicans do that are hurting the environment or hurting immigrants, or every little thing that Trump says that is cruel or rude or mean, or every little, I don't need to know all that stuff. Like, I know that I'm gonna vote and I'm gonna make my voice heard. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make changes that I need to change. I have spent so much time watching TV and movies, which I kind of feel like I didn't really do that much before quarantine, because I just wanted to be outside and I wanted to be doing stuff with my dog and with friends. I'm a daylight kind of guy, and I don't really like to be inside when it's daylight. In quarantine, that wasn't really an option anymore. I filled it with wonderful TV shows and series and movies, and I want to share a few of them with you because they're incredible. I'm gonna scoot this way so I can put them up on the screen. So Connor Franta, which I'm sure everyone knows, did an IGTV series where he was recommending TV shows. And 2 shows that he mentioned on there, I absolutely fell in love with. The OA, which I know that I'm very late to, one of the most unique, incredible, binge-worthy, couldn't get enough TV shows that I've ever seen. Another thing that I loved so much on HBO was The Leftovers. Haunting, devastating, so well acted, well written. It was just, I highly recommend The Leftovers. It was so good. I've been watching a lot of tiny house shows, which I love on Netflix. There's this one called Tiny House Nation, which is very cute and very sweet. Another show on HBO, which I thought was great and was nominated for so many Emmy Awards, was Watchmen. Took a new approach as where it was sort of talking and highlighting the Tulsa massacre, which happened. It was like a thriving black town that was slaughtered by a bunch of white people. It's a very satisfying series. If you love space, I recently watched this series called Away on Netflix, which I thought was very great. So as much as I love space, I also love superhero stuff. And one superhero show I feel like is just the most amazing superhero show I've ever seen, besides maybe like X-Men cartoons when I was a kid, is The Boys. So The Boys is so good. It's a little violent and like a little gory. However, it's more like Quentin Tarantino gore, you know, kind of where like you expect it and like it's like almost so sensational that it's like not gross. It is gross, but it's like not that gross. And also Lovecraft Country, which I just started this week. I'm on episode 2, and I love it because it has a supernatural effect and also a very great storytelling. So I can't speak that much to it because I haven't watched the whole thing, but I'm very excited. Okay, so those are some of the best things that I've kind of learned in quarantine. I hope maybe you can apply some of these to your life because they have been just, you know, it's been incredible for me, and it's really made the best out of like a very challenging situation of being at home in quarantine and, you know, lockdown, and also having all of these good things were kind of like the silver lining to this all unfolding. So that has been really great. A couple other things that I'm gonna make a video about becoming a plant dad. I feel like I want to make that a whole video though, because I have also fallen in love with plants. Anyway, we'll get to that at a different date. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you Trey Coffee for sponsoring today's video, and make sure you guys hit the description box so you can tap that link and get that 30% off. And if you want, you can follow me on social media, only on Instagram though, at Kyle Krieger, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.